Welcome to this channel, a quiet place where gentle science meets rest. Before the world felt sharp, before thoughts learned to hurry, before memory decided what was important and what could be forgotten. The beginning does not arrive suddenly. It opens slowly, like a wide space that has always been there, waiting quietly. There is no clear line between darkness and light. They blend together, softly, without effort. In this wide space, stars are already present. They do not appear. They do not turn on. They simply are. Each star rests in its own place, far from the others, surrounded by deep, calm darkness. The darkness is not empty. It is gentle. It holds everything without pressure. Light leaves a star in all directions at once. It does not search. It does not aim. It spreads, slow and patient, moving through space without resistance. Some of this light will travel for a very long time. It will pass through open regions, through thin clouds of dust, through wide silence. Light does not hurry. It does not slow down. It continues. Between stars, there is a great distance. Not a distance to be crossed quickly, but a distance that allows calm. In this distance, small particles drift. Atoms, very simple pieces of matter. An atom is quiet by nature. It does not rush. It vibrates gently, holding its tiny structure together. Atoms meet sometimes. They separate again. Nothing dramatic happens. These small meetings and separations have been happening for a very long time, and they will continue. Time here does not feel measured. It feels like a slow river, moving without sound, without edges. One moment blends into the next. No moment stands out. Light from a distant star moves across this river of time, carrying warmth, carrying presence, without carrying urgency. Far away, a thin cloud of gas drifts. It is wide and loose with no clear shape. Inside this cloud, atoms float close to one another, but not too close. They move as if they are listening, to a very slow rhythm. Gravity is present, but it speaks softly here. It does not pull sharply. It invites. Over a long stretch of time, some parts of the cloud become slightly denser. Not enough to notice at first. Only enough for gravity to whisper a little more clearly. Gas responds. Dust follows. The movement is so slow that it feels almost still. Warmth begins to appear, not as heat, but as a gentle change. A faint glow grows deep inside the cloud. Not bright, not strong, just present. A star is forming, quietly, without sound, without announcement. The cloud around it softens the light. It holds it close. The light stays inside for a long time, bouncing gently, changing direction, learning patience. Eventually, some of the light finds its way out. It escapes not as a beam, but as a soft suggestion. From far away, this region looks calm, almost still. The universe prefers such beginnings. Nothing sharp, nothing fast. Nearby, other stars continue their steady glow. Each star has its own balance. Inside a stable star, tiny changes happen all the time. Energy is created deep within, then slowly moves outward. It does not rush to the surface. It takes its time. The journey from the center of a star to its outer edge is long and quiet. When the energy finally leaves the star, it becomes light again. Light that moves into space, carrying calm warmth. This light may touch dust, softening its path. It may pass through empty regions, unchanged. It may travel so far that no one ever sees it. All outcomes are acceptable. Nothing is wasted. Far from the stars, there is a small living body resting in stillness. Inside this body, cells work quietly. Each cell follows simple rules. It takes in energy. It releases energy. No cell needs to decide. No cell needs to hurry. Signals move gently through the body, like slow waves. The heart keeps its rhythm, steady and familiar. The breath moves in, then moves out, smooth and natural. In the brain, soft waves of activity rise and fall. They do not spike. They do not clash. They repeat patterns that feel safe and known. These waves are made of tiny signals, moving from cell to cell, sharing information calmly. Nothing demands attention. The body knows this rhythm. It has known it for a very long time. Outside, the universe continues. Stars shine, clouds drift, light travels. Inside, cells continue their quiet work. Atoms inside the body are not different from atoms in distant space. They follow the same simple rules. They vibrate. They connect. They separate. Everything is part of the same slow motion. Time continues to pass, but it does not press forward. It flows. Thoughts may appear, then soften. Images may form, then fade. Nothing needs to be held. The story does not move toward a goal. It simply continues, layer by layer, moment by moment. Light becomes softer. The darkness grows wider. Edges blur. The universe does not close. It opens. And the opening remains, quiet and steady, as everything continues exactly as it should. The wide space remains open. Nothing has closed. Nothing has changed its direction. Stars continue to rest where they are, separated by distance, connected by light. Light leaves a star without sound, without effort. It does not know where it will go. It does not need to know. It moves forward because space allows it to move. In many places, space is clear. Light passes through without touching anything. In other places, space holds thin traces of matter, dust, gas, single atoms drifting alone. When light meets these small things, it does not stop. It changes slightly. A small part is absorbed. A small part is released again. The light continues, a little softer, a little wider. This is how space shapes light. Not with force, but with presence. A thin cloud may stretch across a large region. From far away, it looks like a quiet shadow. From closer, it is made of countless tiny pieces, each one moving slowly. These clouds are not heavy. They do not fall. They float, held by gentle balances. Inside them, atoms move closer together and drift apart again. They do this without intention, without memory. Gravity is always there, but it is patient. It waits. Over time, some parts of a cloud become slightly denser. The change is small, almost invisible, but gravity notices even small changes. It pulls just a little more in those places. Gas responds, dust follows. The movement begins so slowly that it feels like stillness. Warmth appears. Not heat, just a soft increase. This warmth spreads gently. Inside the cloud, light begins to form again. A faint glow, barely noticeable. The glow does not rush outward. It stays inside, moving from particle to particle. Each interaction slows it, changes its direction, teaches it patience. Eventually, some of the light escapes. It does not burst free. It seeps out, like a slow breath leaving a quiet space. From far away, this region looks calm. Nothing suggests movement. Nothing demands attention. Yet something new has begun. Across the galaxy, many such regions exist. They do not appear at once. They appear one by one, over long stretches of time. The galaxy does not fill quickly. It grows in a measured way. Stars that formed long ago continue their steady glow. Inside them, energy moves outward at a constant pace. The balance inside a star is gentle but strong. Gravity pulls inward. Energy pushes outward. Neither side wins. They hold each other in place. This balance allows the star to remain calm, Its light does not flicker. It does not change suddenly. It becomes a reliable presence in the wide dark. Light from many stars travels together. Their paths cross. They pass through one another without conflict. Light does not collide. It layers. This layering creates soft brightness. In some regions, many stars lie close together. From a distance, their light blends into a smooth band. This is how wide structures appear in the sky. Not because of a single source, but because of many small ones working quietly together. The path of light through the galaxy is long and curved. Stars move slowly around a common center. Their paths are wide. They do not rush. Each star follows its own gentle curve, guided by gravity, held by distance. The galaxy turns without hurry. Its motion is so slow that it feels like stillness. Inside this turning, light continues to move outward. Some light remains inside the galaxy. Some leaves it entirely. Once it leaves, it enters an even wider space. Between galaxies, distance grows larger. Matter becomes rare. A single atom may drift alone for a very long time. Light crossing this space travels without interruption. It does not tire. It does not weaken. It spreads. As space stretches, light stretches with it. Its color shifts slightly, not suddenly, not sharply, just enough to remain, in balance with the space it travels through. This stretching is gentle. It does not break light. It allows light to continue. Back in a small living body, the same principles apply. Energy moves, signals travel. Cells exchange information quietly. A cell receives a signal. It responds. Then it returns to a steady state. This happens again and again. The rhythm is familiar. The heart maintains its even pattern. The breath continues its slow movement. Inside the brain, waves of activity rise and fall. They do not compete. They flow into one another. Some waves become softer. Some become slower. The pattern feels smooth. Nothing interrupts it. The body does not ask what comes next. It continues what it already knows. Outside, light continues its long path. Inside, signals do the same. There is no clear boundary between the two. Atoms inside the body respond to the same forces as atoms in distant space. They vibrate. They connect. They release. Everything follows simple rules. No rule needs to be remembered. No instruction needs to be repeated. The universe runs on quiet agreements. Energy moves from where it is dense to where it is not. Motion follows the easiest path. Time allows everything to unfold without pressure. The story does not move toward an ending. It continues as a wide observation. Light flows, space opens, patterns repeat. Nothing needs to change for everything to remain calm. The path of light extends onward, unbroken, steady, soft, and the wide space continues to hold it, without effort, without sound. Space does not look the same everywhere. In some regions, it feels thinner, more open. In other places, it feels softer, as if something is gently filling the distance. These places are made of clouds. Not clouds like those above the ground, not shaped by wind, not moving quickly. These are wide, quiet clouds of gas and dust, floating slowly through space. They have no edges, no clear beginning, no clear end. They fade into the surrounding darkness, as if they are part of it. Inside these clouds, matter gathers just a little more closely than elsewhere. Hydrogen drifts here, light and simple. Helium drifts too, sharing the same space. Mixed between them are tiny grains of dust. Dust so small it behaves almost like smoke, yet so steady it can remain for a very long time. Each grain moves gently, guided by small forces, never pushed suddenly. Gravity is present, but it remains calm. It does not pull sharply. It does not demand movement. It invites matter to stay nearby. Over long stretches of time, some regions of the cloud become slightly denser. The change is subtle, so subtle that nothing seems different at first. Atoms continue to drift. Dust continues to float. But gravity feels the difference. It responds quietly, pulling just a little more toward these denser areas. Gas responds first. Its movement is slow, almost like a pause. Dust follows later, taking longer paths. The cloud does not collapse. It reshapes itself gradually. Warmth begins to appear. Not heat, not something intense. Just a gentle rise in energy. This warmth spreads slowly, touching nearby particles. They respond by moving slightly faster, slightly closer. Inside the cloud, light begins to form. At first, it cannot travel far. It meets particles quickly. It changes direction often. It remains inside, wandering through the cloud like a quiet thought. This light does not try to escape. It simply exists. Over time, the center of the cloud becomes more active. The warmth increases gently. Pressure builds. Not pressure that pushes outward suddenly, but pressure that holds shape. The cloud remains soft. Then, without sound, without any clear moment, a new presence appears. A forming star. It does not shine brightly. Its light is wrapped in gas and dust. The cloud protects it. The light moves slowly outward, touching particles, being absorbed, being released again. Each interaction takes time. The journey from the center to the outer edge is long, but there is no waiting. Time inside the cloud flows evenly. Nothing rushes. Around the forming star, matter begins to move differently. A slow turning appears. Not a spin that can be seen easily, but a gentle curve in motion. Gas follows this curve. Dust follows too. The movement spreads outward, flattening slightly. A wide, thin disk forms, not solid, not sharp, just a gentle gathering of matter moving together. Inside this disk, small particles meet. They touch. Sometimes they separate again. Sometimes they remain together. These meetings are quiet. They do not cause sparks. They do not break the calm. Over time, some groups of particles become larger, still small, still fragile, but slightly more stable. The disk continues its slow motion. Nothing forces growth. Nothing insists. Some regions become more active. Some remain thin. The universe allows difference. The forming star continues to grow warmer. Its inner balance slowly develops. At a certain point, the energy inside becomes steady. The star begins to hold itself. Gravity pulls inward. Energy pushes outward. They meet in the middle. The star becomes stable. Its light remains wrapped for a while longer. Eventually, the surrounding cloud thins. Light begins to travel farther. From a distance, the star becomes visible. Not as a sudden point of brightness, but as a gentle glow. The cloud that formed it does not disappear. Parts of it drift away. Parts remain nearby. Some of this material may join other clouds. Matter moves in wide cycles. Atoms that were once alone become part of stars. Atoms from stars return to space. Nothing is lost. Everything changes form. Across the galaxy, many such clouds exist. Some are forming stars now. Some will do so later. Some remain quiet for very long times. The galaxy does not hurry to fill itself with light. It grows slowly. Between these clouds, stars already shine. Their light travels through the same space. It touches clouds gently. It warms them slightly. It passes through. Light does not disturb the process. It simply joins it. In a small living body, far from these clouds, Similar patterns exist. Inside the body, cells gather energy. They use it slowly. They release it. Each cell remains in balance. No cell rushes, no cell waits. Signals move between cells like soft waves. A signal arrives. It is received. It fades. Another signal follows. The rhythm remains steady. Inside the brain, waves of activity flow gently. They do not spike. They do not compete. They blend. These waves are made of tiny changes in electrical and chemical states. But the details are not heavy. What matters is the smoothness. The brain prefers smooth patterns. It returns to them naturally when nothing interrupts. The heart continues its steady motion, each movement familiar, each pause expected. The breath continues its quiet cycle, in and out. Nothing needs attention. The body holds itself just as the star does. Gravity and energy find balance. Pressure and release meet gently. The same rules apply. Inside and outside are not separate systems. They are expressions of the same simple ideas. Energy moves from dense places to open ones. Motion follows paths of least resistance. Time allows everything to unfold slowly. As the cloud continues to thin, the forming star becomes clearer. Its light travels farther. It joins the wide paths of light already moving through space. Some of that light will meet dust again. Some will pass through empty regions. Some will travel so far that it blends into the background of the universe. No outcome is preferred. The universe does not choose favorites. It allows processes to continue where conditions permit. The clouds remain. Some grow quieter. Some become active. Some drift. Nothing ends. The story does not build toward a moment. It expands sideways, layer by layer. Observation continues. Light continues. Time continues. The quiet clouds remain suspended between what has been and what will slowly appear. They do not announce their work. They simply continue, held gently within the wide, calm structure of space. A star that has finished forming does not announce a new phase. There is no signal, no sharp change. It simply settles. Inside the star, a quiet balance takes hold. Gravity pulls inward, holding everything close. Energy, created deep inside, moves outward slowly. Neither side wins. They meet and remain. This balance is not stillness. It is steady motion. Energy is always moving. Matter is always responding. But the movements are gentle, repeating, familiar. Deep within the star, simple particles come together. They meet under pressure, and when they do, a small amount of energy is released. This energy does not rush outward. It takes many small steps. It moves from one layer to another, being absorbed, then released again. Each step takes time. The journey from the center of a star to its outer surface is long and quiet. Nothing inside the star is impatient. When the energy finally reaches the surface, it leaves as light. The light spreads into space, carrying warmth. Not heat that burns, but warmth that gently fills distance. The star shines because this balance holds. Its light does not flicker. It does not pulse suddenly. It remains even. Some stars shine more brightly, some shine more softly. This depends on how much matter they hold. A larger star has stronger gravity. To balance that gravity, it releases more energy. A smaller star holds itself more gently. Its light is softer. Neither is better. Each star follows what its structure allows. Stars do not compete. They remain in their own state of balance, shining steadily, without effort. Around many stars, other bodies move. These bodies follow long, curved paths. They do not travel in straight lines. Gravity bends their motion. The result is a loop, repeated again and again. This repetition creates comfort. Nothing surprising happens. The path is known. The timing is familiar. Light from the star touches these moving bodies. Some of the light is reflected, some is absorbed. Absorbed energy may warm a surface. Warmed matter may release energy again. This exchange is gentle. It creates cycles, not sharp changes, but slow shifts. Warmth rises, warmth fades, light returns. These cycles repeat. Inside the star, the balance continues. Hydrogen slowly becomes less common in the deepest regions. But this happens gradually. There is no sudden change. The star adjusts. It remains calm. For a very long time, the star stays in this phase. This is the longest part of its existence, the phase of steady light. Across a galaxy, millions of stars exist in this same state. From a distance, their combined light creates a smooth glow. This glow does not flicker. It remains consistent. Galaxies shine not because of sudden events, but because of long stability repeated many times. Between stars, space remains open. Dust drifts slowly, gas lingers. Light passes through without disturbance. Nothing presses inward. Nothing pulls outward too strongly. The galaxy remains balanced. Stars move along their paths around the center of the galaxy. Their motion is slow, so slow that it feels like stillness. The galaxy turns without urgency. Time inside the galaxy stretches wide. Processes that seem complex are built from simple steps. Movement, balance, repetition. Inside a small living body, far away, similar patterns exist. The heart follows a steady rhythm. It contracts. It releases again and again. The rhythm does not change suddenly. It remains reliable. Cells inside the body respond to this rhythm. They receive nutrients. They release waste. They exchange signals. Each step is simple. Together, they create stability. Breathing follows its own steady pattern. Air moves in. Air moves out. The movement is smooth. No part of the body needs to decide how fast or how slow. The rhythm is known. Inside the brain, activity settles into gentle waves. Signals move across networks of cells. They rise, they fall. They do not clash. They support one another. These waves reflect a state of balance. Not complete stillness, but smooth motion. The brain prefers such motion. It returns to it naturally when nothing interrupts. Outside the body, stars continue their steady work. Inside the body, cells do the same. The scales are different. The patterns are similar. Energy moves outward. Structure holds inward. Balance remains. Light from the star travels into space. Some of it meets dust. Some of it passes through empty regions. Some of it leaves the galaxy. Once it leaves, it enters even wider space. Between galaxies, distance grows larger. Light continues. It does not change its nature. It adapts to space. As space slowly expands, light stretches with it. Its color shifts slightly. This shift is gentle. It does not break the light. It allows it to remain part of the larger structure. The universe does not rush toward an ending. It values long periods of balance. Stars shine steadily for much longer than they change. Galaxies remain structured for vast stretches of time. Living systems rely on this steadiness. Predictable light, predictable rhythms. The universe provides these without effort. The steady heart of a star continues to hold. Its balance does not require attention. It simply remains. Light leaves the surface moment by moment, layer by layer. Time continues to pass, but it does not press forward. It flows evenly. Thoughts may appear, then soften. Sensations may arise, then fade. Nothing needs to be followed. The story does not move toward a peak. It rests in the middle, in the long, steady phase where everything functions as it has learned to function. The star continues shining. The galaxy continues turning. The body continues its quiet rhythms. Balance holds. And within this balance, nothing asks for change. Everything remains gently, patiently, as it is. Between one star and another, there is a great amount of space. More space than light, more space than matter. This space is not dramatic. It does not announce itself. It simply opens. In open space, there is no air, no pressure against the skin, no wind. Sound cannot travel here the way it does in air. Sound needs matter to carry it. So the space between stars is naturally silent. Not a silence created by effort, but a silence that exists because nothing begins. Light travels through this silence. It moves freely. In most places, it does not touch anything. It passes through the open dark as if the dark is not an obstacle. Sometimes light meets a single atom. One atom drifting alone. An atom can absorb a small part of the light's energy. For a brief moment, the atom holds that energy. Then it releases it again. The release may be light, sent out in a new direction. A tiny change, a small scatter. This does not stop the journey. It only makes it softer, more spread out. In some regions, the space between stars holds a little more gas, very thin gas, so thin it would feel like nothing at all. Yet even thin gas can respond to energy. When energy touches it, it can glow faintly, a quiet, wide glow that covers a large region. This glow does not shine brightly. It is more like a hint, like a soft veil hanging in the dark. Dust exists here too, but not in thick clouds. Only a few grains drifting slowly. A grain of dust is small, but it can still affect light. It can scatter light. It can soften a sharp point into a gentle blur. A distant star seen through dust may look less defined, more calm. Dust does not compete with light. It shapes it. The space between stars also holds small travelers. Tiny rocks, frozen bodies, pieces of ice and dust. They move slowly. Their paths are long. They do not rush toward anything. They follow curves created by gravity. A traveler may pass near a star, change its path a little, then continue outward. Most travelers remain unnoticed. Space does not highlight them. It holds them quietly. Time in open space feels wide. Processes happen slowly. A gas particle may drift for ages without meeting another. A dust grain may travel a very long distance without any collision. This is not loneliness. It is simply openness. Openness allows calm. It allows gentle motion without constant interaction. The galaxy depends on this openness. Stars need distance. If stars were too close, their gravity would disturb one another strongly. Systems would become unstable. But in wide space, each star has room. Each system can remain steady. Light can travel without interruption. The space between stars is not wasted space. It is the path. It is the quiet field through which energy moves. It also acts as a buffer. Changes in one place do not immediately affect another. A star can change slowly, and the rest of the galaxy continues without disturbance. The universe uses distance as a form of calm. In this open space, the background is deep and smooth. No edges, no landmarks, only the faint presence of distant stars. Some stars appear as points. Some appear as soft glows. A faint band may stretch across the view, where many stars gather. Within that band, dark lanes appear. Those lanes are dust, but the dust is still thin. It does not create harsh shadows. It creates soft patterns, patterns that do not demand attention. In open space, light becomes a gentle visitor. It arrives. It passes through. It continues. It does not insist on being seen. It does not insist on being understood. It simply moves. In a small living body, there is also space. Not open space like the galaxy, but space between cells, space between structures, space within tissue. This space is filled with fluid, with molecules, with ions drifting gently. The body is not solid in a simple way. It is a system of layers and spaces, all moving slightly, all exchanging. Cells are small, but they are not isolated. They communicate through signals. These signals travel across space from one cell to another, not as loud messages, but as gentle changes. A chemical molecule binds to a receptor. A channel opens, ions move. A small change spreads, then it settles. The heart continues its rhythm, sending waves of pressure through blood vessels. These waves are gentle. They move steadily. They reach small vessels, then smaller ones. They reach the spaces around cells. They deliver oxygen. They carry away waste. The process is quiet. Breathing moves air into the lungs, then out again. Inside the lungs, tiny sacs exchange gases. Oxygen enters the blood. Carbon dioxide leaves. Nothing needs to be forced. The exchange happens because conditions allow it. Inside the brain, signals move as waves too. Electrical changes travel along cells. Chemical messengers cross small gaps. The waves rise, the waves fall, they form patterns. Some patterns are faster, some are slower. As external demands become smaller, the patterns often become smoother. The brain does not have to push hard. It can settle into gentle rhythms. The body, like the galaxy, uses space to remain calm. Distance between cells, space between structures, allows processes to unfold without collision. The body has buffers too. Not everything touches everything at once. Systems are separated, yet connected. This is how stability is kept. Outside, the space between stars holds the galaxy together by allowing distance. Inside, the spaces between cells hold the body together by allowing flow. In both cases, nothing needs to be crowded. Nothing needs to press. Openness creates softness. Softness allows continuity. The story remains in this openness. It does not rush forward. It stays with the quiet spaces, the places where nothing dramatic happens, yet everything continues. Light passes through. Matter drifts. Patterns repeat. Time flows evenly. The quiet space between stars remains wide. It remains silent. It remains patient. And within it, the universe continues without effort, without urgency, without a final point. Change in the universe does not arrive with noise. It does not announce itself. It does not interrupt. It appears quietly, woven into what already exists. A star that has been stable for a long time does not suddenly become different. At first, everything looks the same. The light remains steady. The space around it stays calm. But inside, very small shifts begin. Deep within the star, the simplest fuel becomes less common. Not gone, just reduced. The reactions that create energy continue, but their balance adjusts slightly. Energy still moves outward, layer by layer. Gravity still pulls inward. But the meeting point between these two forces moves gently. The center of the star becomes a little denser, a little warmer, not sharply, not suddenly. The star responds by changing its shape. The outer layers begin to expand. This expansion is slow, so slow that from far away, it feels like nothing is happening. The star grows larger, but softer. Its surface cools slightly as it spreads outward. Its light changes color. Not dramatically, just enough to notice if one were watching carefully. The light becomes warmer, more orange, more red. The star does not resist this change. It does not try to return to an earlier state. It follows what conditions allow. Inside, new forms of balance appear. Different layers within the star take on different roles. Each layer remains calm. Each layer contributes to the whole. The star becomes more complex, but not more tense. Complexity does not mean disorder. It simply means there are more gentle processes working together. The outer layers continue to drift outward. They remain connected to the star, but less tightly than before. Light leaves these layers in a wider spread. The space around the star feels fuller. Nearby gas responds. It warms slightly. It shifts. Dust moves gently. Nothing breaks. Nothing rushes. For some stars, this phase lasts a long time. They remain large and warm, shining softly. Their presence fills more space than before. They are still stable. They still hold themselves together. Eventually, some stars begin to release their outer layers, not in a sudden motion, not in a burst. The material drifts away, slowly. It forms a thin cloud around the star. This cloud expands. It becomes wider, lighter, more diffuse. The cloud does not fall back. It does not escape violently. It simply becomes part of space. At the center, a smaller, denser core remains. This core is quiet. It no longer creates new energy, but it still holds heat. It cools very slowly. Its light fades over long stretches of time, not suddenly, not completely. It remains present, soft and steady. Other stars follow slightly different paths. Larger stars continue to change internally. They form heavier materials inside. Each new stage requires more pressure, more warmth. Each stage lasts less time than the one before. Still, nothing here is fast. Even the quicker changes in the universe are slow by human measure. The star adapts again and again. Each adaptation is smooth. At some point, the structure of the star can no longer hold the same balance. The core becomes very dense. The outer layers respond. They move outward with more energy. Material spreads into space. From a distance, this appears as a bright event. But even this brightness is brief compared to the long quiet before. And after, the space around the star is enriched. Atoms that formed deep inside are now free. They drift outward. They mix with surrounding gas. They join dust. They become part of future clouds. Change leads to continuation. Nothing is wasted. Everything is reused. The universe does not remove material. It rearranges it. Atoms move from stars to clouds, from clouds to new stars, from stars to space again. These cycles are wide. They are not tight loops. They take time. Across the galaxy, many stars exist in many stages. Some are forming, some are stable, Some are changing, some are fading, all of them belong. The galaxy does not favor one stage over another. It holds all of them together. Light from changing stars travels outward. Some of it meets dust, some of it warms gas, some of it travels far away. Light from stable stars does the same. The galaxy absorbs all of it without disturbance. Inside a small living body, change also arrives softly. Cells are replaced over time, not all at once, one by one. A cell completes its work, then gives way. Another cell takes its place. The tissue remains stable. The system continues. Inside the body, chemical balances shift gently. Levels rise, levels fall. The body responds without conscious effort. The heart maintains its rhythm, but the rhythm is not perfectly fixed. It adjusts slightly with each breath, with each change in position, with each small shift in demand. These adjustments are smooth. They do not interrupt the pattern. Breathing changes too, sometimes deeper, sometimes lighter, always steady, always returning to what feels balanced. Inside the brain, activity changes throughout time. Some patterns become less active, others become more present. These changes follow natural rhythms. As stimulation fades, the patterns often slow. They become wider, more even. Signals spread over larger areas. They synchronize. They feel smoother. The brain does not force this. It allows it. The body, like the star, does not fear change. It adapts. It finds new balance when conditions shift. Inside and outside, the same principles apply. Energy moves. Structure responds. Balance shifts without breaking. Time allows these changes to unfold gently. Nothing needs to end for something else to continue. The universe does not draw sharp lines between phases. It blends them. One state softens into another. No moment stands alone. No moment demands attention. As the star continues its long change, it remains part of the galaxy. Its light may soften, its structure may alter, but it still belongs. The galaxy continues turning. Other stars continue shining. New clouds gather. Light continues to move. The story does not pause to mark the change. It flows through it. Change is not an event. It is a quiet adjustment within a long, steady process. And as this adjustment continues, everything remains held within the wide, calm space that allows all forms of existence to continue without urgency. From within a single system, a galaxy can feel like a background, a faint band of light, a gentle field of stars. But from far away, a galaxy becomes a shape. Not a sharp shape, not a shape with edges, but a slow, quiet pattern. The Milky Way is such a pattern. It is made of many stars and the wide space between them. It is made of gas, thin and drifting. It is made of dust, softening light into calm lanes. It is made of motion, so slow that it can be mistaken for stillness. A galaxy is not built like a machine. It is not assembled, it grows. It forms in layers over long spans of time. Matter gathers gently, gravity shapes motion. Light appears, then continues. The Milky Way holds a spiral form. Spiral arms curve outward from the central region. These arms do not spin like blades. They are not rigid structures. They are more like a slow wave moving through a wide field. A spiral arm is a region where matter becomes a little denser. Not crowded, not packed. Just denser enough to shape what passes through. Gas drifts into an arm. Dust drifts with it. As the material gathers slightly, clouds form more easily. In some of those clouds, new stars begin. Not everywhere, not always, only where conditions allow. Then the material continues its path. It drifts onward, moving out of the arm. The arm remains, not because the same matter stays in it, but because the pattern stays. The pattern is the arm. This is one of the quiet wonders of galaxies, a shape that persists even as its contents change. The Milky Way's central region is more dense. More stars are gathered there. Light becomes stronger. But even the center is not solid. There is still distance. There is still space. Stars remain separated by wide gaps. They move on long orbits around the center. These orbits are guided by gravity. Gravity does not pull them inward quickly. Their motion forward balances the inward pull. The result is a steady curve. Again and again, the galaxy turns. The turning is slow, so slow that a short observer might believe nothing moves. But everything moves. It moves gently, patiently. Over long time, these motions create the smooth spiral form. Dust makes itself visible by the way it shapes light. Dust does not shine, but it blocks and scatters. It creates dark lanes across the brighter band. These lanes are soft, not harsh. They are like shadows in fog, not like shadows in sharp sunlight. Dust is small, yet it influences the look of the whole galaxy. Gas is even more subtle. It is thin, but it can glow when energy touches it. Nearby stars can warm gas. Young stars can light gas in a gentle way. The gas responds with faint light. This creates regions that appear as soft glows within the spiral arms. These glows do not demand attention. They are simply part of the texture. Beyond the visible parts of the galaxy, there is more structure. There is a halo, a wide region around the galaxy with fewer stars. These stars move on longer, wider orbits. The halo is faint. It does not show itself easily, yet it is part of the galaxy. And beyond the halo, there is an unseen influence. Dark matter. Dark matter does not shine. It does not reflect light. It does not absorb light. But it has gravity. It adds weight to the galaxy's structure. It helps keep stars bound to the galaxy's turning form. Without it, many stars would drift away. With it, the galaxy remains stable. This stability is not loud, it is simply present. Like an unseen support holding a wide pattern, the Milky Way is not alone. Other galaxies exist. Some are spirals too. Some are smooth and rounder, like soft ellipses. Some are irregular, with no clear shape. Each galaxy has its own history, yet each follows the same simple rules. Matter responds to gravity. Energy moves outward. Time allows slow change. Galaxies gather into groups. A small group may hold a few galaxies. A cluster may hold many. These groups are not crowded. Even in a cluster, the distances are vast. Galaxies drift relative to one another. They may pass nearby. Their gravity may shape each other slightly. Their gas may be pulled into longer streams, but the process is slow. Nothing happens at once. A close passage between galaxies is a long event. Not a moment, but a slow, extended interaction. Stars inside galaxies rarely meet directly. The space between stars is too wide, so galaxies can pass through each other in a gentle way. Their shapes can stretch. Their patterns can change. But the change is gradual. Sometimes galaxies merge. Two spirals can become one larger structure. The spiral pattern may soften. A new form may appear, more rounded, more smooth. Yet even this is not destruction. It is reorganization. Light continues. Stars continue. Matter continues its wide cycles. A merged galaxy may form new stars if gas becomes dense, or it may remain calm if gas is thin. The universe allows both. Now consider the largest view. Beyond clusters, the universe contains many clusters, many groups. Galaxies spread across space in a wide distribution. No single center is chosen, no direction is special. The universe looks similar in every direction when seen on a large scale. This wide sameness is part of its calm. Space itself expands. Not like an explosion, not from a central point. Space stretches everywhere. Distances between far galaxies grow slowly. The galaxies are not racing. The space between them becomes wider. Light traveling through this space is stretched gently. Its wavelength becomes longer. Its color shifts toward the red. This shift does not harm the light. It is part of the universe's growth. The expansion is steady. It does not pull galaxies apart internally. Galaxies remain bound. Stars remain in their orbits. Only the large distances grow. This creates a universe that becomes wider and wider, more open over time. Within this openness, local patterns remain. The Milky Way continues turning. Its spiral arms remain as soft patterns. Stars continue shining. Clouds continue forming in some regions. The galaxy does not end. It continues as a wide, gentle structure within a growing space. Inside a small living body, patterns also exist. Rhythms repeat. The heart's steady motion, the breath's quiet cycle, the brain's soft waves. These patterns can feel small, but they share something with galactic motion. They are stable structures built from movement. They remain because balance holds. The body does not require stillness to remain stable. Neither does the galaxy. Both rely on gentle motion. Both rely on repeated cycles. Both remain calm because their changes are smooth. When the environment becomes quieter, the brain's activity often becomes more even. Signals synchronize. Waves widen. Patterns simplify. The body settles into its own familiar rhythm. This settling is not forced. It happens because conditions allow it. Outside, the Milky Way's soft band can remain present as a quiet background. Inside, the body's rhythms can remain present as a quiet field. Nothing needs to be solved. Nothing needs to be tracked. The story does not move toward a conclusion. It stays with the pattern. A spiral of light. A wide turning, dust lanes softening brightness, gas drifting quietly, stars shining steadily, space expanding gently, time flowing evenly. The Milky Way remains a soft pattern, held by gravity, filled with light, moving without urgency, continuing without a final edge.